What's up, YouTube land? Xeno Gaming here, and welcome to episode number 27 of my F1 2020 career mode for my team, actually, and Xeno Racing. And here we're going to have two races today at the Chinese Grand Prix and the Dutch Grand Prix into one video. Been a bit late on this career mode video, but hopefully I can start making these a little bit quicker in the upcoming months and weeks. So here is Q1 at the Chinese Grand Prix as we now come through the last corner, and we're currently sitting in 13th, and we improved to 11th there on our first run in Q1 and are safely through to Q2. Unfortunately, I didn't scroll through and get who was knocked out, and I did not remember as I raced this a little while ago, over a week ago. So we're now here on our Q2 lap here, and this is our best lap from the qualifying. So we'll just have a look at this lap in full, and as we now come into turn 6, braking at the 100-meter board, back down to second gear, lock up on the front right massively, a little bit too deep there, did not get the braking zone right for that corner at all, flat through the left-hander, back down the 5th gear for the right-hander, and then the 3rd gear for this double left of 9 and 10, and not too bad there, despite the front lock up on the front left. Almost losing the car at the exit of 10, tricky traction zone, always I found. Now coming through 11, 12 and 13 here, this is the most important corner on the circuit to maximise the speed down the straight. So as we sweep through 13, and now one of the longest straights on the calendar, 1 kilometre, open up the DRS, looking for our braking point at the 100-meter board, back down the second gear. Hit the apex, little front lock up on the front right, not a bad exit at all, and to the last corner, 5th gear, missed the apex slightly there, running a little bit wide, and as we come across the line, it's not the best lap unfortunately, and it's only good enough for 13th position here today in China. So we'll go to the race now. And here we go, start of the Chinese Grand Prix. And let's go here in China, as we get a pretty good start. We're immediately into 11th position here. I'm going to try and get up Occon's inside and move straight into the 10. Now we're down inside Kvyat, and there's a bit of contact there, a lot of contact there, as he did not see me on the inside, but we managed to get past. We almost throw it down the barrier. Incredibly, we managed to survive. We hold and maintain the position here as Leclerc is trying to go down the inside of Sainz, but Sainz, he's got the better of him on the outside. We're still struggling with traction here on this opening lap on the medium tyre, but we managed to hold our ground, and now we are struggling a little bit to turn the car here. I think that little bit of contact with Kvyat actually has broken the front wing, if you believe it or not, and see the guys ahead are immediately pulling away, and you just see the understeer just kicking absolutely through this corner. You can see it absolutely kicking in. As we now move here to lap 7, and you can see the gap to the guys ahead has extended, but we're holding our own here. But a bit of a mistake here at the turn 6, Occon's all over the back of us, and now Valtteri Bottas is out of this Grand Prix, and a safety car has been deployed. There's Bottas' alien car, and that means we're going to come straight into the pits to change for the hard tyre to go to the end of the Grand Prix, and also change the front wing because I was really struggling with it. So here we go, into the pits, and change of tyre and front wing. So really disappointing start, opening stint. Breaking that front wing is just, it's very difficult. So a bit unfortunate, and we're gonna come back out in the middle of the pack here. So the safety cars kind of saved our race a little bit here in terms of breaking that front wing. We're now on the hard tyre. We're going to go to the end of the Grand Prix, and we'll see what we can do here from here on out as we now are following signs. And on the safety car restart, we've lost that. We've broken the front wing again. I couldn't believe that happened. I don't know. I still don't know how that happened, to be honest. I guess the tyres were really cold and I just couldn't handle it. Full throttle in fourth gear. I don't know. Couldn't. And coming here turn one, understeer massively through the first corner. And as we come down here, we get a hit from behind from the AI. That puts us into the barrier again. That breaks the front wing even further. And at this point, I'm just really annoyed, really pissed off. So we're now in 21st. We're going to change for the front wing again. Probably go onto the medium tyre again, or the soft tyre. It's just a disaster at this point. So you can see here, I'm just really upset. And we're going to come through the left-hander here, and got no turning it whatsoever. And at this point, I just gave up. It's not really like me. I kind of just rage quitted here. And as you see, I just ended my Grand Prix. It's not something I'm proud of, but it's what happens. So we have to live with it, and I'm going to show the good and the bad here from this series. So that's how it is. Anyway, moving on, we've got now an interview with Will Buxton.
And I've got to say, an awful lot's changed since we were last here. Let's dive in with some questions. You seem to be stuck in the mid-tier at the moment. Are you happy here, or will you be aiming to challenge the top teams in the near future? Sponsors seem to be climbing over one another to get their name onto your car. What do you plan on investing that extra money into? Would you say that it's important to develop your drivers as much as possible? Will your team be going for the Constructors' Championship this season, or just for points? Would it be safe to say that, in terms of team orders, your career comes first in your team? Well, thanks so much, as ever, for your time. It's hugely appreciated.
So yeah, that was not a great start to this episode in China, and you can see why I lumped these two episodes together. It's just, yeah, very frustrating. I still don't know how I spun out of the hairpin, but it is what it is, and you got to move on. So anyway, we made an upgrade to our chassis department in terms of getting more resource points, and that was a bit of money spent. So all in good faith, you got to spend to improve. That's what they say. You got to use money to earn money. So spend money to earn money. That's how it works. Anyway, here in the Netherlands now, and a good start here in Q1. As you can see, we get through quite nicely, and it's Max Verstappen's home Grand Prix. He's leading the championship coming into this race, so Max has got a lot of support behind him, and he qualifies first here for the first qualifying. So yeah, a good start here for us to at least be into Q2. We seem to be consistently getting into Q2 with our car, and whether our teammate does or not, it's 50-50 with Hubert. So as you can see that he's knocked out here in this session, along with the Alfa Romeos, Magnussen, De Vries, and Latifi. So yeah, well, you can see Albon all the way down there, almost getting knocked out in the Red Bull, which is he's not put in the performances over the last few Grand Prix. It's kind of been similar and eerie to his real life performances. So anyway, we will now get into Q2 here, and here we go. Currently in 11th place, trying to book a spot into Q3. Last year here at this Grand Prix, we were very quick and we did make Q3 and had a good result. So let's see if we can repeat that here as we come. Yeah, I'm not sure what the corner number is, but this is a fantastic corner when you get it right in 7th gear, and then chuck this one in 6th gear, and then braking back down in 3rd gear for this right-hander. Trying to be careful with throttle, short shifting to not spin up the rear tyres, and taking that wide line. I would take probably a little bit too wide there, unfortunately. Didn't quite get back down as I would have liked. As now we come into the chicane here, 3rd gear back down to 2nd. Now we're going to hold in 3rd, shift to 4th, and then we lose the rear of the car, and that's going to ruin our Q2 lap here. That was a decent lap getting put together. It was improving a little bit, not by a lot, but it would have improved at least. Potentially a chance to maybe get the Q3. Unfortunately, that chance is now gone, and that's going to end us. We probably wouldn't have made Q3, but it's going to drop us down to 14th place here, which is a little bit unfortunate. So P14 here for the Dutch Grand Prix, and you got also being knocked out as Sainz, Kvyat, Gasly, and the British boys of Russell and Norris. So yeah, anyway, that's all from qualifying, and now we'll move into the race. Here's David Croft.
Welcome along then to the North Sea coast and Zandvoort, 25 miles away from Amsterdam, and the host for today's Dutch Grand Prix. It's a race the great Jim Clark won on 4 occasions, leading for an astonishing total of 370 laps. A lap of this short 2.6 mile Zandvoort circuit features 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left. The main straight is 678 metres long and heads into turn 1, the Tarzan corner. With DRS down the main straight into the braking zone, that could be the best overtaking opportunity on the track. With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Perez, Lance Stroll and Ricciardo, Leclerc, Vettel, Albon and Carlos Sainz, Kvyat, Gasly, the captain, and Norris, Russell, Raikkonen, Antonio Giovinazzi and Antoine Hubert. Magnussen, Ocon, they've taken a grid penalty, De Vries and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So here we go for the Dutch Grand Prix. We've moved up a spot due to Ocon's penalty, now starting 13th on the grid. It's an all Mercedes front row with the local hero starting 3rd. And can Lewis Hamilton put a dent into Max Verstappen's championship challenge here today? Can he respond? He's had a poor start to the season, but here we go. 5 red lights. Long hold, but let's go for the Dutch Grand Prix here at Zandvoort, and we get a decent start here. Down the inside goes Pierre Gasly, and we go down the inside as well. We follow him, and we're able to get squeezed through here. Yes, we can, and now we managed to follow Gasly here in 11th place, and we almost threw it down the barrier on the hard tyres, the cold tyres. Here's Kvyat now challenging us going down the inside. We managed to hold him off there. We give him space so he doesn't hit us, but we just about hold Kvyat off here on this opening lap, and that was quite dicey, but we are on the hard tyre, Kvyat on the soft tyre, so also Gasly, Albon ahead on the soft tyre, so we're going to maybe be a little bit slower here in these opening few laps of this Grand Prix, but we're just going to manage to hold on here. We've got Sainz on the hard tyre doing the same strategy as us, so we should be able to match it with him. But we'll see how if Kvyat, one of the Ferraris up ahead, that's Leclerc having a huge mistake there, and he's lost 2 positions to Albon, Vettel, actually 3 positions, and Gasly. As Gasly now looking to go through, we've got a fantastic run here. We've got a slipstream recording from Gasly. and we go past Leclerc through the last corner, and now we've got a massive run on Gasly here, and we're going to go around the outside and brake out as late as we dare. We don't lock up, Albon locks up, we lock up a little bit actually, but we managed to go around the outside of Pierre Gasly. What a move. We gained 2 positions in one corner and move up into 9th place, and now we're going to follow the Red Bull driver here. So what an opening lap from 13th to 9th, and now we're moving here a little bit into this Grand Prix. This is the end of lap 9. You can see the gap to Albon ahead, and you can see the gap to Gasly behind. It's kind of been a stalemate. I've been driving just consistent laps by myself, but I've been putting in good laps. You can see we're not that far behind Albon, and now as his soft tyres are starting to wear off, we're starting to come back at him here, and we're really starting to have a go here as we come across the line to end lap 11. You can see a purple last second, so the tyres are just they're still coming to us, these hard tyres. They're getting better and better over the course of the stint. You can see we're really starting to gain on Albon here, and potentially maybe looking at a chance to overtake him with some DRS, as now George Russell is out of this Grand Prix. That is unfortunate for the Haas driver. Yes, it is very unfortunate for George to be out, but now a safety car is out, and I wasn't sure what to do, so I decided to come into the pits here, and we're going to change strategy. We're going to go onto a medium tyre here, and we'll see what that does for us. And it's a good stop here, and we do get out ahead of Albon, but because of the way the game is, he is able to go through us. That's unfortunate. Could have been a position in the pit lane, but he's on the hard tyre, we're on the medium tyre, so we've got a lot of work to do now, because I've got a feeling that all the guys that go onto the hard tyre, they won't be stopping again, as we will definitely have to stop again, because these mediums aren't going to get to the end of the Grand Prix. So it's a bit of a risk here for us. There's been a 2-stop to the end, a 1-stop sorry, to the end of the race, but we have to go for it as we go underway for the safety car restart, and we've timed it pretty well here, I'd say, but I'm going to be close enough to make a move on Albon. We're going deep on the brakes, and we've got so much more confidence than he does on the brakes, and we managed to get past into the first corner, so that's a critical move to get past ourselves on straight away, because now we're following Bottas, who's also on the hard tyre, and we're here on lap 15, and Bottas makes a huge mistake here, so now we've got an opportunity to potentially get past, and I kind of compromised my run through the penultimate corner there, but now we're going to open the overtake mode. We haven't got DRS just yet, but we've got a really good slipstream here on Valtteri Bottas. Can we make anything of it? He's on the hard tyre. We're going to have a hard tyre. Look, he braked very late. Too late. We just touched the back of his right rear tyre, and we break the front wing. That's not what I was trying to do there. And you can see the understeer already, and you can see the amount of time we've already lost to Bottas, and now Albon's all over us here. So, this Grand Prix was going well, and now this is not a good moment, and Albon trying to go past, and a bit of contact there, and he spins actually. I left him some space, and he hit my car. I did leave him space, as you saw, but he wasn't able to get through there. We're going to have to come into the pits. We're going to have to put on a soft tyre now. This is just a disaster for us, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, and unfortunately we're going to be buried in the field now on a soft tyre. We're going to have to go on 2 sets of softs to get to the end of this Grand Prix, most likely, and really just not the way
exit now.
we wanted this Grand Prix to pan out after the last one in China. Here, halfway through the Grand Prix now, so now we're just going to put in the laps here. Purple third sector on our out lap here, and now Latifi out of the Grand Prix, and unfortunately it's just a virtual safety car, so no luck for us. We could have used that safety car, but unfortunately it doesn't hunt for us. And now we set the fastest up the Grand Prix here, and on back-to-back laps, really pushing hard. And now Charles Leclerc in the pit lane here, and he's coming around the inside of turn 1. We got the outside, and we're going to accelerate past him with the momentum, and he's on the medium tyre. He will be going to the end of the Grand Prix, and now we're just chasing down Vettel ahead. There's a freeze in the pit lane, a few more cars in the pits, and we're overtaking them all from the massive undercut we got. You can see Albon is just there. He hadn't pitted. from the spin, but we managed to catch up from a fair distance. Unfortunately here though, we put it in the barrier out of turn 4, and that's the end of our Grand Prix. And that's just a race that went from bad to worse right there, to being a complete disaster. And now that's 3 races on the trot we haven't finished, so it's very unfortunate. Now we'll give it to David Croft for the final results of the Grand Prix.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. The updated driver standings. Max Verstappen should be pleased with his performance, making gains at the top of the table. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Well, for me, it's got to be Lewis Hamilton. The multiple world champion may be the boring choice at this point, but you can't argue that he's a driver deserving of his reputation.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. There was also a strong showing from the Mercedes team today as they make their way up the standings. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
Well, there's the Grand Prix, and there's the results, as you saw. Really disappointing. Really annoyed at myself. 2 Grand Prix in a row, 3 Grand Prix in a row now. They just haven't gone my way. And I need to be better for the next Grand Prix, and I will be better in Spain. That's the hope and the goal. Max Verstappen split the 2 Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton wins the Grand Prix, makes some much needed ground up on Verstappen, who's had an excellent start to the season. And now I'm just looking through the driver market, just looking through what my choices could potentially be. Maybe not for mid-season, but at the end of the season, to see someone we can target to get alongside it and push me in our car as well. So I just don't feel Hubert or Schumacher, when we've had him in our car, have pushed us enough. So I want someone that can push us. I'm thinking about maybe a Norris, a Russell. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, that's been today's My Team episode today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's not the best episode, but you got to show the highs and the lows, and this was definitely a low. But we'll be back and better, stronger than ever. So until then, until the next video, I'll see you then. Goodbye.